So, Eric, we had the made right loose meat sandwich. I'm still coming to terms with it. And now, just across the road from all of that, we are at a Hall of Famers, very iconic motor building shop.
We are. We're in Newton, Iowa at Parker Engines.
Now, as we just saw, this very year, only a few weeks back, he was inducted into the Knoxville Raceway Hall of Fame.
He was July 2nd or 3rd, whatever that was. He's been doing this a long time and building engines for a lot of people, and he's made a huge impact on Knoxville Raceway and the sport in general.
Yeah.
He's driven for a lot of famous drivers have driven his engines, and it's proven, and the quality's there, and he's well deserving of the honor of Knoxville Raceway Hall of Fame for sure.
They told me that he wouldn't talk to me. They said if he knows you're here, he's not going to come and talk to you. Look at that. So he's a pro stock guy, which means he's a skillful drag racer because they change gears. Hey, Mr. Parker.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Thank you. I know you didn't know I was here, otherwise you might not have come back.
I wouldn't have.
No, I won't take that personally, okay, Al?
Okay.
Mate, it's an honour to meet you. Like Eric just said, I know you're not comfortable with the idea of it, but you are one of the sports legends. That comes from being around it a long time. How long have you been doing this engine building caper?
1974 I started.
74?
Yeah.
Let me do the maths here. 6 makes 80. 4 years, 48 years, something like that.
Couple days.
You don't get that for murder. That's incredible. And you used to be a drag racer. That was your initial interest. Where did you start? Where was your interest in drag racing coming from?
Oh, I run national events. AHRA, NHRA,
Yeah.
DRA, IHRA, the 800 inchers I run, and the
Wow.
500 inch pro stocks I run. Yeah.
When did you start? When did you see the light, Al? When did you stop doing that straight line stuff and get into corners?
Pretty much in 90s, pretty much.
Okay.
That's when we kind of really got into this.
Yeah, okay. So where were you born and bred?
Right here, Monroe.
Yeah, I heard it was Monroe first, right? And then you moved up to the Big Smoke.
Yeah.
What was the attraction to drag racing? Did you go with your dad, or what was the first track you went to? Why did you get interested in drags?
No, just was on my own. Just started doing it, and then just started getting it out and going to different events, and so yeah, I enjoyed the traveling then, going to different states. Yeah.
The one thing about drag racing people in particular, Al, is they're so meticulous. There is such a strategy behind tearing everything down after every run, and so the meticulous nature of drag racing would help you enormously with your learning to become an engine builder, I would think.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the two have been really good. I mean, I found where the horsepower was in the drag racing and the longevity in the sprint car, and it allowed me to take the two and focus and find a medium to where I could get the most and have the longest, longevity out of an engine. So without the two, I wouldn't have ever found it totally.
Yeah. Longevity has to be one of the key factors in engine building for a customer, I would think.
In sprint car world, I mean, you set a world record. If you don't come back for the second lap, it's no good, so.
Yeah. And look, particularly at the moment, it's a pretty turbulent environment for engine parts and all those sort of consumables in our industry, where you just don't know when you're going to be able to source an ongoing stream of that stuff right now. So longevity is probably more pivotal for you than it's ever been, I would think.
It is, and parts we have over 120 engines in here right now.
Well, 120
engines in here right now.
Right now.
So I did wander through there where there's a bunch of things laying on the table. Can you walk me through where we were? If you go this way, I'll follow you. Just to give you some perspective on that, because I did see a lot of blocks and cylinder heads, and yeah, straight through here. So this is the in progress bench right here, Al?
These are all engines that are machined and ready to go.
Wow.
Upstairs is where we keep them in the teardown. So
come over this way. I want you to stand in front of us. This is phenomenal. And I just love it's just a little bitty shop. And I say that with respect to you, Al. It's not like a big superstore, right? This is humble beginnings, and you've probably just grown bigger in the one building, right?
Oh, I never wanted to be big in it. I'd rather do 4 engines a year, good ones, than all the hundreds.
How did that work out for you, Al?
Not so well.
So that's a backhanded compliment. Who really put you on the map in a sprint car, that running your motors where suddenly everyone went, I want what he wants?
We've had so many good people. Dave Hessmer, back in the day, I did his stuff for a long time, and we got along great, and that got me interested in it. But I originally did John McCoy's engines.
Yeah.
He raced, and
Yep.
Mike Profit. So that's fun that they're down there now officiating, and they used to be racers.
Yeah. It's great that they stay in the sport.
But Sammy and I, we got along great. We still do. Kevin, I did Kevin's, but Steve Kinzer and Carl Kinzer, I did stuff for those guys before when they were together and after. So no, it's been a good run. I've done a lot of stuff with a lot of people.
So which dragway did you go to first? What was the drag strip that you first went to and saw?
Eddyville, Iowa.
Beautiful, just down the road from Ottumwa and just near Knoxville. So this kid goes to, how old do you think you were when you saw that first, the drags?
Well, I started when I was 18.
So this kid goes to see the drags, ends up becoming a pro stock driver, changes his focus and starts building sprint car engines, and then suddenly he's doing Sammy Swindell's and Steve Kinzer's, the two greatest of all time. You understand that, right, Al?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, wow. Did you even dream that when you started doing this that you'd have that kind of heavyweight title contender on board?
When they actually wanted me to do them, I turned it down. I just really didn't want to get involved in it that much, because we were just doing most drag race stuff.
Yep.
And 830 cubic inch engines, and that, and those things are $150,000 a piece, and I really didn't have time for all this other stuff. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
So how did they twist your arm then if you didn't want to do it?
They got me hooked.
What an incredible experience that era must have been in your life.
Yeah, it was fun.
But pressure? Like,
Lots of pressure.
Yeah.
The only reason I truly got out of the outlaw stuff was just you don't have a life. I did it for 3-4 years hard, and it's just one of those. They all got 7 engines, and they come in here and you got to drop everything you're doing. And I remember mowing my yard at 2 a.m. and had to put lights on my deal. That's the only time I could ever mow. You don't have a life. And I am 72 years old, so kind of thinking more about that nowadays.
You don't look 72 years old, mate. So, that cycle, say with someone like Sammy or Steve, how did that work? Did you have 2 or 3, back here at the shop all the time and sending them back out on the road? Like, how did that loop work?
Well, actually, it started, I did 360s, and I put one in Sammy's car, and we won a lot of stuff. So then he got wanting me to get into the 410 deals. So
Yep.
That's kind of where that started. But Steve, it was with Carl that I originally got with when them two were together. So,
What a character.
Oh, yeah.
What a character.
He was definitely fun to work.
Yeah. His favorite thing that he said to me once, he said, I don't know what all the hoop de blah is about. And I had to stop for a second, and I think he meant bullshit. I think that was Olytic for bullshit, hoop de blah.
He had his own, yes.
But, I mean, the beautiful part about our sport, Al, is that it's not just the outlaw guys. It's the weekly warriors. It's the guys at Knoxville that race, that's the beauty of our sport, grassroots, right?
Oh, yeah. Garner and I have a lot of fun, and we definitely, we're a competitive team.
Yep.
But we both have jobs, and we can't do it, all day, every day. We get a few hours that we can actually work on our own.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little rougher.
So have you ever met Randy's brother, James Garner? Because I always ask him about that. He won't introduce me. Have you ever met him?
No.
So how many employees, how many things do you have?
Four of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And how many motors?
Well, there's 120 in here right now, but
How do you slow down? Like, you've got to a point with this. Like, what do you do? It'd be a machine, like an animal, this business, wouldn't it, for you?
well, there's definitely second shifts here every day.
Wow. Why do you do it?
I don't like to golf.
Oh, that's such a great. Apparently, golf is relaxing. I don't know how it is, Al. I've tried that game. The white ball takes away the relaxing bit if you're just walking around. What is the best part about what you do?
The people. It
Yeah.
is. There's some really, really good ones. There's
Last,
some bad ones.
yeah, look for sure. Like I always said, if buttholes could fly, sprint car racing would be an airport,
Yeah.
right? But there's far
busy
more good people in the sport. Last night I listened to Logan and Donnie come down that main straightaway at the Cappy, just matting it down that sound when you know that they've got it crushed. Is there a more beautiful sound in the world than an engine at full cry around Knoxville?
Unless it's yours up there doing it.
Well, that 40 car is, But do you ever get sick of that? Like seeing those things just screaming?
Nah, it's all good.
It's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, being around the Garners, it would be. Randy is just such a laid-back cat, and obviously you have a great friendship with all that team. But there's a good little family team. Everyone thinks that Australians all think they're Knoxville-based because they live up in Sioux Falls, so they're nowhere near here. How much of your stuff is out of Iowa, percentage-wise? Would you say?
Oh, I do more everywhere else than I do here. Really.
Yeah.
We do a lot in Canada.
Really?
A lot.
Wow.
Yeah. And I do Glenn Steyer's stuff over
Yep.
there, and
Yep.
he's a very good customer.
Yeah.
Do a lot in New York. That's a lot
Really?
over there.
So is that modified stuff that you do up there, or sprint car stuff?
Sprint?
Huh.
They're all sprints.
Okay. And are you still doing much drag racing motors?
Yeah, well, we probably got 30 in here right now, but from 600 inches to 800 inches. We still have them.
What's the biggest motor you've ever built in terms of cubic inches?
890 inches.
What kind of horsepower and torque did that make?
They'll do 1,800 foot-pounds of torque. And they'll do 2,300 aspirated, carbureted, no nitrous.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Do you still love this as much as you did when you started, Al?
I do. It's just harder than it was.
Yeah.
That's all.
And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, unfortunately. Everybody would want to deal with Al when they ring Parker Engines, right? So it's not just, hey, and I know you've got a good team here that can do that for you, but everybody would want you, right?
Well, I always thought someday I'd get it out of here and still be able to run it, but you're handcuffed to it harder now than you ever were. So there's no relaxing.
The two questions. Firstly, one of your mates, D-High, is a bit of a Jägermeister fiend.
Yeah.
How do you escape when you go over? He's always asked me, come on over. And it's literally like running over to a situation you know is going to get you upside down. How do you deal with him?
I just don't drink with him.
Smart man.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is something that some people are either really embarrassed and very humble about, or inside they're very proud. How did that make you feel to be finally inducted to the Knoxville Raceway Hall of Fame?
Well, I was proud of it. I didn't try to tell anybody about it. But yeah.
I mean, you don't set out to become a Hall of Famer when you start an engine building business, do you?
No.
No. All right, so what's left for you? What haven't you done in this sport that you would like to do?
I actually have achieved any goal that I've ever had. So from here on, it's just going to be fun. Once you get over the hump, it's all good.